Hey, you guys, welcome back to our Q&A series that we're going through regarding 1 Peter. And these are the three prevailing questions since first service today. And they're good ones. They're really practical and reality questions. Number one question, my husband and I act like roommates. He wants our finances to be separate. We're not intimate with each other. We don't share the same faith. That's the key, by the way. You don't share the same faith. That should have been at the top. It's because you don't share the same faith that your finances are separate, you're not intimate, because it's a spiritual issue, but I'll go on here. What do you suggest that I do as a believing wife? So let's do this. Let's consider, I think it's safe to consider based upon your text, that your husband is a non-believer. This is exactly who we're talking to in 1 Peter 3. Consider your husband a non-believer. Peter is giving you line by line instructions on how to live with your husband who's a non-believer. And so regarding the finances, regarding the intimacy, which is not there, the separation, he's living in another world. Your husband is living in another world. It's a separate world. When a man controls the finances and doesn't acknowledge you in it, or participates with you in it, he's probably got a separate world happening, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, or all of the above. So be leery of that. But the other thing is this, even if you had the intimacy, if you didn't have the faith, it'd still be off. Are you with me? If you guys were so intimate and wonderful, but he still doesn't have the faith. You could have unlimited finances and each of you have $1 million each. It's still going to be messed up because you don't have the same faith. But 1 Peter says for you to stay married to your husband and love him by your godly conduct, by your chaste conduct. He is who I said this morning is your mission field, okay? So please remember that. My spouse is unloving and does not meet my expectations. By the way, can I say that no spouse meets your expectations? Nobody can. I don't care if your wife can walk on water. She cannot meet your expectations. No human can meet your expectations because marriage is not created for that. So only Jesus can meet your expectations. But he doesn't meet the expectations of what I want to see in a husband. I consider this a form of emotional abuse. Can I walk away from the marriage and get a divorce? Absolutely not. Nowhere in the Bible does the Bible give any credence to emotional abuse as being the divorce criteria. So abuse, if you're being mocked, ridiculed, and made fun of, this is exactly who Peter's talking to the wife. But what you need is a very strong support base of godly believers. Because Jesus in the Bible made it very, very clear that apart from sexual immorality, the Bible leaves no opportunity for divorce. You say, yeah, but what about physical beatings and things like that? You get out of that marriage. You call the police, you get out of there, you get safety for you and your kids, and you do it now. You get that guy arrested, you get that guy in court. And listen, you sue that guy till the end of days for the protection of yourself and kids. The law was created for you to be protected about that. That's a different thing altogether. But technically, I just want you to know biblically that verbal abuse does not qualify for grounds of divorce nowhere in the Bible. So I know that's a painful thing to hear, but the more opposition means God's got to give you more grace. So look for that grace in your life. God will empower you. Today you spoke about sexual abuse. Since there are different forms of abuse, when does the Bible allow divorce? Sexual immorality. Sexual immorality. Now look, you can go interview 10 pastors and you're going to get 12 different answers, okay? Which is what most people do. They'll go find a pastor that gives them the answer that they want to hear. I'm just going to give you the answer for what I know. The Bible makes it very clear in the book of 1 Corinthians, start reading there, chapter 6. If your husband or if your wife is sexually immoral, you have the grounds for divorce. in the Word of God, and you're free to remarry again. So says Paul the Apostle in 1 Corinthians. Starting in chapter 6, read 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, read that. So that's vitally important. See, yeah, but what is sexual abuse or sexual immorality? The word is porneia. You know the meaning of that word, porneia. Listen, it's not, well, we did this and that, but I didn't get into her, so we didn't have sex. By the way, in arguments today, that's Clintonian. I don't know if you know what Clintonian means. It's now a term. Clintonian is, I'm like Bill Clinton. We did everything else, but we didn't have intercourse, so we didn't have sex. That's insanity. It's Clintonian. It's mental illness. It's not mental illness. I'm sorry. It's not that. It's self-justification. Pornography, viewing pornography, is a form of sexual immorality. This is a very serious topic. It's destroying our lives. Be very careful. Wives, listen. Stay tuned to this study. Go listen to the last 2 weeks. Stay tuned. Hang in there. Okay? And call out to God for grace and hope, and that God might convert that man in your life. And I don't care if he says he's a Christian. If he's not living like a Christian, let me be the first to tell you, he's not a Christian. Pray for him. Pray for his salvation. If he physically abuses you, get out. Call the cops. Get him arrested. If he's committing sexual immorality, pray that God restores you guys. If that's not possible, divorce him. You're free to remarry again. So says the Apostle Paul. God bless you guys till next time.